You and Nathan, Seth. Met Seth.
Hey Seth, you can lead the team meeting today.
I can do what?
You can be in charge. You just sit down and take it easy.
I like it.
You're in charge.
You're gonna be in charge of me today, Seth.
Mhm.
It's so funny. I know him so well now, but I still say, Nathan, he'll go, Seth. I go, of course I do, right?
And then one nephew's 26, the other one's 20, and I'm like, Grayson Xavier, Xavier Grayson.
Exactly right, yeah.
So it's just everybody does it.
I'm gonna go, Jim, Tommy, Dale.
Uh-huh.
Jimmy. Look, stop it. Show here.
You put Michelle in charge of breakfast?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have breakfast today.
No breakfast?
No, I didn't find anybody.
I think we have coffee.
There comes one week less. Good morning.
Mhm.
How's
Morning.
Christmas?
That's good. When Santa bring
I'm
it your
sure your
house,
children got nothing.
Nope, they got absolutely nothing.
That's what this week, that's it.
And then I spent all day yesterday
You got an
purging their
iPad?
rooms to make room for.
We did that.
is the hoverboard hard to use?
on Thursday.
How far off the ground does it get?
Thursday. Friday.
Oh, cool. What makes the hoverboard then?
Yeah.
He chose on this one thing.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. I was thinking like Back to the Future, if they had a hoverboard. It's like a skateboard, but it was on air. But that's what I pictured it as. Mm-hmm. Because you play video games too? What's your favorite one right now?
I mean, he's home.
Or any game?
house right now. I wish he was.
Ah, Minecraft's still
It's just-
popular? Oh, not for a long
Yes,
time.
it's hard to live. I mean, it's all we do right now. So, it's fine.
Ah, huh. That sounds like it makes it more challenging. Did it go sideways too? Now,
So I'm
soccer, you
assuming
can't
all
use
this
your hands.
stuff is
The
for
basketball you
testing.
can't use.
Also what?
COVID testing, the blinds, cars.
Oh,
You
I
can
did
fly.
not, because I came the other way, so I didn't see it.
It was on East Piedmont too, going.
Uh-huh.
Oh, see, I came Robinson.
It's everywhere, it's everywhere.
Oh, there you
Well,
go. Yes, 'cause I can't jump very high. I might need those booster flares to get it. Well, that's pretty
Well, that's
neat.
true.
So how long were you down here with
I
your
mean,
grandma?
I got, sick with a cold, so I of course came in and thought I had it, so those, it was just a cold. I
Yeah.
didn't have
Oh,
COVID, but
fun.
I think that now that they're so hypersensitive.
Yeah.
Monday, yeah. See, we're starting back to work today, so you get another week off. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, that sounds like a
Canceling
good
flights, these
time.
poor people
So is
that
your
are
brother
trying to
here
get
too?
places.
Oh,
I know.
oh, yeah, he didn't like my sister.
He's
That's
just
why.
like,
He knew. He
so she lives in Alaska right now. They have a 1.5-year-old. So they were flying, they left yesterday morning at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then they had a layover in Seattle, which ended up being a 10-hour layover because their flight got canceled.
Why are flights getting
Because of COVID.
Like, if you test positive, you have to be out for 10 days, even if you're vaccinated. So now they're cutting down to 5, but all the crews are out.
Right, so the cruise, the people are getting back.
So then the planes are getting moved to the next spot. They gotta cancel the next
So what
flight.
are they
So like,
still
my last flight out of
flying?
Wisconsin.
No, they just got their
Plane wasn't there.
So I guess 24 hours.
With a baby, I can't even.
Oh, that's really brutal.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you
But
have
she's a
traveled
good
small
traveler. I mean, they moved out there when she was like 5 or 6 months old. So.
Yeah.
My poor sister. No, dude, it's my sister. She is expecting another one. She's due June, early June. And then her husband.
Very good.
is gonna go to ranger school. Because he has to go to ranger school, otherwise he gets kicked out of the position. So ranger school is in Georgia.
Yeah.
So and he's gonna go in August.
Oh.
So she's gonna be stuck in Anchorage with a 2-year-old and a newborn. And he's gonna be back in Georgia. And I was like, are you sure you can just come stay with us for like a month?
Yeah.
I mean, his is minimum 60 days. That's if he doesn't get recycled,
Right. That would be a better idea.
Yeah,
Just 'cause
so
she's gonna
I
be-
know, I know.
Does she have family out there?
No, no, it's just Army.
Oh, man.
It's crazy, I know, and so like, it's just a different life, I mean, it snowed on the first day, or the last day of summer. this
I
past
don't,
year.
I don't that.
And so she, you know, to go anywhere, like she had to take the baby to the urgent care when she had a fever that wouldn't go away. So she had to put her in front of the screen, you know, like,
Where's your brother?
snow blow the driveway.
Oh.
Kelly sent me a text, did you think that?
Yeah, that is a tough life right now, especially if you're by yourself. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully she'll think through that and reconsider.
All right, not a problem. Okay.
Did you have mine?
So-
Wonderful Christmas, a great Christmas show, we had fun.
Very good.
Let's see. Kristen.
We discussed it a long time ago at a meeting today, and I said, let's just have one to see comes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's good. I guess we should go ahead and get started.
Huh?
Okay.
I don't know. How many are online, Kimberly?
15.
15, so.
Let's get
If
started.
we're gonna affect 20 people's lives, we're gonna do a good job.
I love it. Okay, great. Do you want to do it or you want me to start it?
Just go for it, girl.
Okay, all right, good morning. I hope everyone had a great holiday, Christmas, whatever you're celebrating. And of course, we always start out, tell me something good. And I bet Jim, he's playing audience today
I am.
because he's got someone special with him. So come on up. Let's start out with that.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, and look for a Happy New Year. This is one of my grandsons. This is Seth Alexander. We've been together for a week now, Seth. Is that right? Oh, week, exactly right, yeah. A good student. And Seth, tell them your two favorite things you got for Christmas.
iPad more.
iPad and a hoverboard.
Hoverboard.
And he's good on both of them.
And what was the
Hoverboard.
best part of Christmas? Was it being with?
With-
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
right. That's right. Here we go. Hello, Happy New Year. I'm gonna sit here and let Michelle, I'm taking this, Michelle.
You're taking notes. Okay, all right, if I don't do good, you won't see me again. Oh, well. For this year.
I'm not taking notes.
Oh, I see. Okay, for this year. Anyway, other people share, either on TV land or out in the audience. Oh, come on, Chrissy.
The baby in our family. My
Oh.
niece Lexi, who was my assistant, who's out on maternity leave right now, had a brand new baby boy, Ashton. He is adorable. Of course, all babies are adorable, but.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
He
that,
gave me the family for
congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's great. That's
a great
great.
aunt.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna make everyone in the audience say, what was something special this week that you want to be thankful for?
Well, it's spend time with my sons and my husband, with my family. That was in cooking for them because you know that I don't cook.
She
So it
said
was
she
very
doesn't
special
cook.
for me. Yeah, it was
Oh,
great. Yes,
Oh, good.
thank you.
That's
Thanks, Dad.
fun.
Mhm.
Irene.
Well, Christmas Eve mass, I had my son and my daughter-in-law who is 8 months pregnant, and it was neat because as the music, Christmas carols were going, all of a sudden I could see her little tummy, the baby moving inside, and my husband got to feel it, which he's never felt a baby kick before, so. that was-
That's so amazing.
That was
What a
fun.
blessing.
It was
That's great. Thank you for sharing, Katie.
I had 2 family dinners, one with my dad, one with my mom, where all of us were there, all siblings,
Oh,
kids,
wow.
everyone.
Is that first time in a
One
long
lives in
time?
Alaska, so yeah,
Wow,
that
that's
doesn't
pretty
happen
cool.
very often.
Oh, that's great. Well, good. Thank you for sharing. Mike.
Ours was pretty quiet. Our family came over the week before. My son and family were supposed to come over for Christmas, but one of them got COVID, so they bailed, so it was just Steph and I. At the end of the day, it's pretty nice It's just
Just
two
relax.
people and you can do what you want to do.
There you go.
Aw.
There you
It's
go.
all good.
All right. Oh, Libby just walked in. Share something special that you have this week.
Christmas. Yes, my kids found out that we're taking them to Disney for their big gift, and that was really, really sweet. They were really excited.
Oh, that's
We
great.
did a little scavenger hunt and they were hugging each other and jumping up and down, so it was cute, very cute.
Arthur Reed.
You know what it is, just spending time with my children, and just after dinner, we just sat around the table and chatted for maybe an hour more. And just hearing my young adult's heart, it just filled me up.
That's
Aw.
great. That's a wonderful thing. All right, I'm gonna share one and then we're gonna let other people. I got to spend time with my grandchildren and in their new home, there's a great running pattern for a 3 and 5-year-old group. And so I played Monster. And so I would go, and we'd run around the house after about 2 hours. Matter of fact, I got 10,000 steps in a day. I was tracking it, so that was really good. But
Yeah.
my 3-year-old grandson was so funny because he goes, stop, bibbity bobbity boo, Mimi is now a Mimi. And then but that gave me time to get away, and then he'd go, bibbity bobbity boo, Mimi is now a monster. So this went on for days. I'm glad to be back with y'all.
Exhausted.
We won't chase you around the office.
I'll chase you around the office, right? Exactly. How about in TV land? You've got things to share.
I'll share one. This is Carrie with Thomas and Brown. My mom and I went, this was our second Christmas without my dad. If you guys don't know, he passed away 2 years very suddenly. So my mom and I went up to Brasstown Valley up in North Georgia and spent the night on Christmas Eve. And it was so pretty. It was very festive with all their trees and mountains and everything. So we did that and it was a lot of fun. So it was nice. I recommend that if y'all ever need a quick, overnight trip during the holiday season.
I'm glad you made the most of it.
It's fun.
Thank you.
Who else?
I got to spend my first Christmas with my grandson. He's 4 months old.
Aw.
So sweet. It was special. I mean, super little, but just seeing the awe and wonder in his eyes of the Christmas lights and just being introduced to new family. It was fun.
Very good. Thank you for sharing. Who else wants to share? All right.
Hi, I
Good.
got to see my grandchildren, and what was funny, and it was overseas in Jamaica. We all met there for a week, and they said they looked and suddenly looked left and looked right, and they said, "We got 2 grandmas," because we're all there together in the same room. So it was really nice to see them.
That's great. Well, looks like you're back.
Yes, I'm just near the office.
Okay. Great. All right. Anybody else want to share something wonderful about Christmas that they appreciate or their holiday? Okay. All right. Well, let's move along. All right. Arthur Reed. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Okay. Carrie, I know you're on. Why don't you go ahead and
Yes.
talk about Thomas and Brown?
I will. Hello, guys. Good to see y'all on Zoom. I'm actually doing a lot of end of the year stuff today. So I'm working from my home office. So thanks to y'all for a fabulous year so much. And we've got a class coming up. If you missed the first CE class that we did for the 2022 contract changes, we have that another class that's going to be offered on the 6th of January. So that's a Thursday from 10 to 1. And Cheryl King is the instructor. It is a 3-hour CE class. And so it'll be in person and via Zoom. So if you guys were not able to attend and you're still not comfortable coming into a classroom, we will have it via Zoom. So I will send out the link to that probably the day before, just because I know sometimes those get lost. So just mark that down. The 6th from 10 to 1 contract changes 2022. Can't believe we're saying that already, but we are. So thank you guys very much. And just a friendly reminder, Jim always likes to ask for me to say where all of our office locations are. So we have a Woodstock, we have East Cobb, Galleria, Buckhead, Alpharetta, Blue Ridge, and Gwinnett. So we hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for doing the class. And it's very good. I've already taken it.
Thank you.
All right, do we have anybody?
Reed's on.
Oh, Reed. Okay, Reed, are you smelling like bourbon this morning? It's an inside joke.
Okay, I'm sure you mean soap, right?
It was soap. We got bourbon soap.
So, yeah, let's talk about that, shall we? No, it's funny. I got some very manly shower gel that supposedly smells like a Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels. So anyway, if you see people follow me around the office, that's probably what it is. So yeah, great to see you guys. We had a wonderful Christmas at my house. I had the privilege, I got to preach twice at our church the Sunday before Christmas, and that's a real blessing to be able to do that. So, and you guys, I know that you all had a great Christmas too. I wanted to tell you about another CE class that's going to be in February. It's going to be Mortgage 101, and I will actually be teaching this one. So there's about 3 or 4 CE classes that I can teach and I'm certified to teach. So I'll be teaching that one. It's basically designed to give you enough mortgage knowledge to make you dangerous. And because you do need to have some basic knowledge, obviously, of the financing programs that are out there. And so we'll take our time, we'll walk through those. We're going to have lunch. We'll answer a lot of questions that you guys may have. And that's what it is. On February 10th from 10 to 1, it's Mortgage 101, probably especially important for some of the younger agents to get that knowledge. And we'll be happy to provide that for you. You'll be getting a blast email with the link to sign up soon. So I hope that you guys can do that and it'll be helpful to you. So that's all I have. Happy New Year. Very grateful for you guys again. And be seeing some of y'all at the ALC retreat on the 10th. God bless.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy New Year.
For doing that class. That's a great class. All right, Arthur Reed.
Well, good morning, everyone. And so because you guys requested tomorrow off, there will be no Legion in person tomorrow. So enjoy your extended time off and come back next week, Monday. Next week, Monday is our Power Day. And that's when we're going to kick it off. We always start the year like this, where we have a Power Day on the first working day. And so it's from 8:30 to about 2:30. And basically, I'm going to focus on you guys touching your database and calling your database. We already have the script. The goal, of course, is listings, right? And just doing it through your database. So come on out. We're going to have food. I think Lyft is providing food. And we're going to have just a blast that day. And we got prizes and surprises, of course. So I expect to see everybody here in this. Let's come upstairs instead of being in Legion room downstairs, so we can all spread out. Okay. All right.
Arthur, I gotta ask you, but Arthur, I've been in business for a long time. I know what to do. Why should I show up to your event?
Because, well, no.
Because Arthur
says so.
Because you start the year right by focusing on your one thing. And by focusing on treating the business like a business. So a lot of people tell me my family come first, and I get that because mine does. And here's the love talk, right? If your family comes first, then show that it does. They do in your business. Get to your business and honor your family. So we're going to be here facilitating and having fun.
Oh, thank you. What a great way to start the year.
And there will be some accountability, right?
Yes, absolutely. There will be accountability about it. You know, you've been here every year for the last, 5 years that we've done it?
I need to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that you've been in this all along. I've been here. So why do you continue to come to this type of event? What does it do for you? Because you're an experienced agent on the ALC. Why do you come?
Because it helps me a lot not to lose the way that I have to get business. And I don't know you guys, but sometimes I feel like with no energy to do the right activities. So when I receive a text from Catherine and said, hey, we are waiting here for you, I said, oh, I have to be there. And it helps me a lot. Mentally, my mindset is different and I can start my day very productive instead of doing know the right thing.
Be there or be.
Square or nowhere.
All right, yeah, I like that.
Nowhere.
And that's you, Michelle.
Oh, that's a seller, taught by me.
Yeah.
No, that was, I did know it was coming up. For those of you that want to add a layer of professionalism, knowing how to do a net to seller is, it's not hard, we walk through it. And that way, if your seller expects to have a certain amount, you're not finding it out at the closing table that they either missed the mark because they didn't know how to do their net, or if they're going to be buying something else. This is incredibly important that they know what's coming out of the proceeds of their house. The one thing that I haven't taught before, but we'll do a quick lessons learned while I'm talking about this, is if your seller is now out of state, be sure and get with your closing attorney to understand that they're going to have withholding from Georgia as far as the tax is concerned. So just a little FYI. But this way, when I was selling, I would do it after I got the listing and said, let's figure out what we think we're going to net. I would do it again once we secured a contract. So twice I would show them, and never, the way I teach it, you'll never underestimate. You'll always overestimate when I say overestimate, that they're going to make more money than what you said, and they're extremely pleased. So please come with me. It takes about an hour. I'll give you all the forms, and it's easy to go through. Okay, well, Arthurine.
So this is up, and I just love Kevin. You know how I feel about him. He is great at all of this stuff. And every time I sit in one of Kevin's class, I get a nugget. And that's the whole goal, you guys. Every time you go to these classes, is to get a nugget that will move you and your business further. So command your campaigns. This is about Facebook ads, all kind of free ads that we have already here that you don't need to go out and spend money. So Kevin's class is on January 10th from 11 to 12. It's group coaching. It's online and it's in person.
Right. Okay.
Oh, pre-listed packs. All right. So we just have so much going on here. So come out and find out why you should have a pre-listing packet. It will set you apart from the majority of agents, and it will help you to win the business when you go on the listing. And it also cuts your listing presentation down quite a bit because you're sending them this packet ahead of time, so they have questions ready when you go. So just come out and find out why you should have one at all times and send one out. And that's taught by me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was January.
You know, and even if you've done it before, go to the class because you may pick up something you didn't think about. That
Yeah.
one nugget, right?
Yeah, yeah. And every time I watch somebody else, I go, oh, I can include this in my pre-listing packet.
Yeah.
And Kevin, again, every other Thursday, command happy hour from home, grab your drinks, sit at home and just jump on and ask Kevin questions. Sometimes I love it because they're like 4 people on. So you really get that personal time, whatever your command questions are on Thursday, every other Thursday from 5 to 6, happy hour.
Right.
So when is the date on that?
Every other Thursday. And I think I have to check with
January
Kevin
13th.
about this
Okay,
Thursday.
all right.
Yeah. What is it? January 13th.
I can't see it really good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
should we turn off the lights?
We're done now.
We're finished now, so.
Oh,
next
That's
time.
okay. We're
Okay.
good.
All
We're
right.
good, we're good.
Not paying
But
attention.
it's always every other Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, the lessons learned, I'm going to let the pros tell today. We've got a panel that we will let them share some things with. I was actually going to talk about investment properties as far as not if you've got the listing with investors out there, but we'll wait and let Christy talk about that. And so we'll skip on and we're going to go to agent needs. Anybody that have upcoming listings that they want to share, get the word out ahead of time to our Quan group.
So I have one, and I don't know if Shelley, if you're on, because you were asking me about it. It's the luxury luxury rental listing that I have in Milton. We are gonna list it on the 30th. I saw it yesterday and it is wonderful. They have they've just done everything in that house. So it's 7 bedrooms, it's a whole, yes. There's a kitchen upstairs, kitchen downstairs, bar downstairs, 2 bedroom downstairs, whole bunch of entertainment area. It's right smack dab in the middle of Alpharetta, where you can walk to the shops on Broadwell. It is a fantastic house, $5,000 a month, which I suspect is gonna
Oh,
go
it's a
for
rental.
more. It's a rental,
Okay.
yeah. mhm.
Okay, sounds lovely.
So it's lovely. So it's Crab Apple, Northwestern, I think, and then Milton High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, thank you very much. Who else has got some upcoming listings? Yvette,
I do.
Yvette Bahadas.
Thank you. I have one coming on the second week of January. It's on Douglasville, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It's a split level and it's going to be 225K.
Oh my
Great
gosh.
price.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
What is Douglasville Paulding?
It's part of the holding. You are looking on
Well, I
top?
have to be in Cobb County with this buyer because of their grant, so,
Okay,
and they're in that price point.
Oh, all right,
thank you.
You're welcome.
okay. Next, who else has something coming up? TV Land, are you out there?
I've got one.
All right.
I've got a 3-2 ranch there in East Cobb. It's right off of Robinson in the Cobb Estates neighborhood on Blackberry Lane. It's, I think I said 3-2. It's on a finished basement, a little over 1/4 of an acre fenced in. The home is literally a step back in time to the 60s, 70s when you walk in the door. So it's got a lot of great potential, but it's priced appropriately and will be listed at $350.
Wow, I love that, step back in time.
Mhm.
I'd be saying time capsule.
I like them both. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's great. And I know you, but please tell everyone out there, because your name doesn't show up on here.
It does.
It
Oh,
does.
I'm Stephanie Can.
Yes, thank you, Stephanie. All right, that'll be it. That'll go quickly too.
Yes. mhm.
All right, anyone else in TV land? All right, anybody that have.
I had a question for Stephanie.
Yes,
I had a question for Stephanie. Is that Wheeler or Walton?
it's Wheeler.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, anyone have something really, really unusual with a buyer that they need some help with other than just inventory?
Legacy Park.
Legacy Park.
Yeah, if you guys have a master on Main in Legacy Park up to 400, please call me. I've got a client who is in love with Legacy Park.
Oh, that sounds like good door knocking opportunity.
I know. Yeah, there's one of our agents living there. She's a big agent, controls that, so I'm gonna call
Okay.
her too. Yeah.
Okay, good.
And I have clients in there, so keep them up.
Kenna? Have you got something? Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's move along. Thank you all. If for some reason you were shy or jumped in and didn't realize we were doing this, go ahead and post it in the chat. That will help. And we've got a panel. These gracious agents said that they would come in between the holidays and add a little bit of spark to the very last meeting of the year. So what I've asked them to do, and come on up, we've got some out in TV land. So Christy Hyatt, Libby, and Mike, here, let's pull these chairs. You know what? Oh.
But the tall guy, the tall one.
What I've asked them to do, and then we've got out and, wait a minute, where did that go?
She went to the ladies' room.
Oh, okay, Yvette will be coming in a moment. But then we've got Stephanie Can online and anybody else that I missed. No, Kelly couldn't do it at the last minute. We've had unfortunately some people that have gotten sick, but, you know, just,
No, it happens.
it's that time of year. So, we thank them for volunteering. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. So we'll get them again. All right. But what I ask this panel to do is to come, everyone's had experiences, what you won't do again in 2022. And so I said, you can make it funny. You can do whatever you want, but something that you did either through lead gen or working with clients that you just didn't have that good feel, whatever it was, or working with another agent that it just got off track, to share, because this way it'll, we learn from our experiences, correct? And we learn what we're going to adjust going forward. So Libby's sitting closest to me. I'm going to turn it over to you. What's something that happened in 2022 that you won't do again?
Yes, I think everybody kind of already knows this, but I learned the hard way again this year, so I wanted to share it still, is you have to be so cautious and careful with who you recommend to your clients for anything. You know, like if you even recommend a closing attorney and they do a bad job, if you recommend a lender, you know, and it's, but in my instance this year, my handyman, who does a great job on most stuff, got in over his head with 2 different clients of mine trying to do plumbing and bathroom work. And it was really bad. And it was bad to the point that I spent over $3,000 making it right, like paying my clients back because the work was just horrible, and I wanted to save our relationship, of course, for, you know, referrals and that and going forward. But and he paid me back for half of it on one of them, but didn't on the other, and they kind of were happening concurrently, and it was just like too little, too late. So anyway, I know, and especially for me, I got in that situation because the client was on a tight budget, and so I knew you can't always recommend the really top tier people if you know, well, you don't have $20,000 for this bathroom. And you know that some people aren't going to do a project that's, you know, 7K or below, but it's always worth really, really knowing the quality of someone's work before you recommend.
So,
Libby, I have a question, Libby. So that's a really good comment. I guess my question is, so what can you do? Because everybody's going to have a bad day.
Yeah, it's true.
Everyone is, every lender, every whatever, they're all going to have a bad day. So what can we do to mitigate that, to where maybe it wouldn't come back to bite us in the backside?
I mean, I think that's a good question. I mean, I think really, yes, everybody's gonna have a bad day, but the right person is gonna fall on the sword themselves if you don't have to do that. So I think like if you're choosing contractors that have great references, great like work history in specific things, and they just have a bad day, that happens, but they, in my opinion, they should be the one making it right. However, I'm the kind of person that if they're not willing to make it right, you better believe I will, because it still falls on me that I recommended this person. And even for one of them, I honestly only recommended him for painting, and they just hired him for a bathroom, and I never actually explicitly told them to do that, but still it falls on me because they wouldn't have known this person if it weren't for me. So it's just like, it's just the right thing to do. But I would say if you really are explicit and, hey, he is an awesome painter, I wouldn't recommend him for X, Y, Z, but he can do this really well, go for it. If you need a different vendor for another project, let me know. You know, but I think really having vetted people and multiple people, because right now it's so hard to get people out. If you only have one person to recommend, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, but you also don't want to just go off any name you see on Facebook, like, oh, so-and-so said it was good. Like, call, ask questions, find out more, get references before you recommend people.
well, you answered my question. What would you have done differently? Obviously, what you just said, that you would have more than one person and that you'd be very specific as to what you knew that they did well.
Yes.
Correct.
So this handyman was somebody that you had personally used, but only for certain things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, good lesson. I hired a tile man. He did an amazing job
Yeah.
putting in tile, but then I said, do you know how to install lights? And I just bought brand new lights for my room.
Which is so
And
easy.
he said, yes, and I came back and he had ruined my lights.
Yeah.
It was not good.
And that's
So-
another lesson too, is some people will say yes, that they can do something, that
because
they want money, but it's, it doesn't mean that they can really do a very proficient.
So what I love is here we share these things,
Yeah.
and when people put on Quan, the Facebook page, do you know a good?
Yeah.
We're getting people that have been,
Right, have
kind of
been vetted.
tested. So, okay, thank you. Mike Strawn.
Mine wasn't what Libby just said, but I agree, that's something that I've learned this year. I got burned a couple times.
Yeah.
And everything everybody said is how I fix it, and I just cut back on referring people unless I really know somebody. There's a couple things, probably more along the lines of customer service for me. I do some things a little bit different. A lot of agents probably disagree how I handle some stuff, but one case is I can be pretty generous. I deal with a lot of people that I know, referrals, somebody that's close to me, so I tend to be a little generous with my time and help, and quite frankly, money to a lesser extent. And I had a case this year that opened my eyes. I'm not gonna not do this anymore, but I'm definitely gonna refine how I do it and pay attention. I had a client, his wife was dying, they're trying to sell their house. House is in great shape, and I had a stager come in, took some pictures off the wall. There's some holes that needed to be patched. I told him, here, I'll take care of this for you. So he gave me some touch-up paint, and the touch-up paint supposedly matched. It was the one that he used. So you guys know where this is going. So I plugged in a couple of holes. It was actually about 8 holes. It was supposed to be a simple touch-up. Before I knew it, was a different paint. It was going on the market the next day, or the photographer was coming in. No, it was going on the market the next day. So here I am, it was pouring down rain. I had to scramble to get a painter at Sherwin-Williams, because we're gonna have to repaint the whole wall. And fortunately, the guy that I used for a painter was able to come out. I got my money back at the end of closing, but I fronted the money on the painting. I will continue to do stuff like this, turn out all good, but I am gonna be very cautious moving forward. Painting I'll probably not do or help out with. I have been known to help people shrub or cut back shrubs. And they're all good intentions, and again, I'll continue to do it. A lot of people may disagree with that, but I am gonna manage, because it can be a time robber if you're not careful.
That's right.
You can get out of line. There's one other one I will add, kind of going back to customers. Me personally, I will always pay for somebody's photography and staging. I consider it marketing and advertising. I will pay the money up front. For the first time this year, I had a listing that she pulled it. And I didn't go up front with her to tell her that the only thing I asked, if you pull this listing or something happens, take it off the market. And she pulled it because it wasn't selling. So she took it off the market, and I was in the hole about $700. But I had not said to her up front, if this does happen, you do need to reimburse me this. Everything else is good, no problem. So I will continue to practice that, but what I will do now is I will show, it is in the contract that says the seller has to reimburse if the listing is pulled. Even if it's friends, I'm gonna make sure it gets pulled, because if you haven't addressed it ahead of time, it's hard to come back after the fact.
Right.
So I'm gonna make sure it's done ahead of time. She fortunately came back and put the house back in the market 9 months later, and we sold it. It all worked out good, but I had kind of written it off. It was at least $600. Again, something I won't do differently. Something I won't stop doing. I'll just do it differently on how I handle it with clients.
So in your listing presentation, when you're having that conversation, you will point that out.
Yes.
Because it's a benefit, because you're doing these things professionally, but then they need to buy into the fact that they're with you.
Yes.
In this. Okay. Thank you. All right, Christy Hyatt.
That's a great point, because I think that also shows more value when we're talking about our whatever rate we might be charging for commission. But yes, I'm burned by that too. I think I'm up here because of this past week. I have a client and he was one of my first clients. He's an investor when I was brand new, 10 years ago or so. He bought like 6 or 7 properties, lives in Israel, so he's not here. English is not his first language, which is a little challenge. But he wants to sell a property, so utilities need to be turned on, handyman needs to be contacted, painter, carpet cleaners, house cleaners, everything. And I'm like, sure, I'll take care of that for you. And of course, a lower commission because he asked that he's done so many properties. So go figure, every time you lower your commission, you are in for trouble. So I've exhausted all of my curse words with Cobb County Water. I've been through 3 different gas companies where I found the right one that would actually service the property. I put down deposits on all those and he'll reimburse me. I have no doubt about that, but it's just be wary of how much you want to give and how much you want to help.
Yeah.
And maybe the answer is these investors, they are very savvy. They're making money on these properties. They know
Yeah.
they're gonna have a good turnaround. I just need to be more upfront and charge for my services. So
Yes.
I'll continue to do it, but there's a value to that service. So, yeah, just be careful what you ask for, especially when your assistant's out of the office.
Oh,
You
God.
gotta do it yourself. So, yeah, running keys back and forth, but just know your value and don't be afraid to ask to be paid for your value. So that's my advice.
Did you tell me that something about blind offers?
Oh, we did get a blind offer on it immediately. It was $100 over asking price. We said, great, we'll take it. Of course, they hadn't seen the house. And the investor came back and said, oh, we thought it had an unfinished basement. We're gonna make it a 4th bedroom. I'm like, nowhere in the listing did it tell you it was an unfinished basement.
Especially those investors, they
Yeah.
never look at them. It's
But
like,
on Raw's group, he had a great reputation. The people said, yeah, I work with that investor and they closed on it. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a chance. Yeah.
So
So
blind
no
offer-
blind offers.
yeah.
You know, go see the house and then I'll entertain your offer. And I know that's hard with these big cash investors, but it'll be worth your time if you just hold out a little bit longer. They had time to get there the next day for the inspection. They could have had time to get there to check it before we got the contract. My fault. I'll learn.
Well, all right, let's pause for a second. If that, I'm gonna jump up to TV land and then come back to that. But Stephanie Kahn.
Yes.
All right, what did you do in 2021 that you will not do again in 2022?
I will not overextend myself and take on clients when I know I'm not going to be available. This particular instance was a seller that called me right maybe the first or second day that I was down with COVID earlier this year. And she was an out-of-state investor, had a home that she was ready to offload in the Covington area, and said, you know, I don't need you to go look at it. I'll send you the pictures that, you know, my renters had sent me at move out. And I thought, okay, I could probably handle this since I don't need to actually go to the property. But the combination of not seeing the house, not getting to meet the seller, it just kind of ended up being a little bit of a disaster. The renters had sent some great pictures. The house looked like it was in excellent condition, but I guess the way that sometimes, you know, our real estate photos can be somewhat deceiving. The renters' pictures were incredibly deceiving, and didn't realize that until we already had multiple offers on the house. We got, because with the multiple offers were coming in before we even had a chance to go get our pictures taken. And when our photographer went out to take pictures, it was a night and day story. The house had been targeted by vandalism. It had been broken into multiple times, bricks through the windows. We had a squatter in the house. So every time someone from my team went back out, because I was still down with COVID, would find, you know, remnants of somebody's dinner or, you know, magazines and things scattered about the house. But it just, it was a bad situation one day after the next. But it all started with, you know, me not even being able to go put my eyes on the property from the beginning because I was sick. So I will never do that again.
Stephanie, how did it turn out?
Because the home was in so much worse condition than she even thought, she ended up pulling it off the market and was going to invest some time and money in getting it all pulled back together. And so she's still in the middle of kind of taking care of all of that. And I think she was considering just keeping it after all. The whole process of selling it ended up being a bit much for her.
And she was out of state.
Yeah, she was across country. She had not seen the property in probably 5 or 6 years.
Did she have a management company or was she doing this herself?
This was something she was doing completely on her own. She had no help or support here in the Atlanta area. We didn't even have a key for the first week or two, which was part of why we hadn't seen it sooner. So she had mailed us a key finally so that we could get in. It was just way too much happened too fast, in the market that we've been in. Those offers started coming in. And once the investor got in the door and saw what the condition really was, they backed out.
So were these blind offers that were coming in?
They were all investor blind offers in that area. But there was just so much I would have done differently. Obviously, if I had put my eyes on it from the beginning and knew what we were really getting ourselves into.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that happened, but that's okay.
You live and learn.
That's right. You learn. Okay. That has a question for you.
Where is that property located at? Is Atlanta?
Covington.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So are you going to work with investors in 2022, just more cautiously?
Oh, absolutely. I love working with investors. This one, I think, really just boiled down to the fact that I didn't know what the property really looked like, what the condition was, up front.
Sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to really do much and stay on top of things and manage much when you're feeling so sick and, trying to get the rest that you need and put yourself first. I should never have taken that on in the first place.
Well, glad you're better.
Yeah.
We learn. All right, thank you. Yvette Bahamas.
Thank you. What happened to me early on this year is, what I will not do it this next year is borrowing cash or money to my sellers in order for them to save their home. I really want to find out a better way to help them not to lose their property. What happened to me was that it was coming as a referral from one of my past clients. So she is a single mom, struggling financially. When I met with her, it was a townhome. The condition of the townhome, in my opinion, was not ready to put it on sale. In my other hand, the seller must sell it because they have a lien from the HOA, you know how the HOA is. And so she said, Yvette, I don't have more money to pay my mortgage. I only have the next 2 months. And I said, okay, 2 months, I think it's enough for me to sell it. So to make it a long story short, I asked my husband to help me and get the townhome interior paint, fix some of the plumbing issues, replace one of the condensers or HVAC units without giving any money to my husband. I asked him, please help me with this one, and do everything. And then as soon as we sell the property, she will be able to give you the money back. And then I said, okay, she was so happy. Okay, but I agree with that. Thanks God that she agreed to sign a document from my husband because he was more intelligent than me. He said, oh no, but it's a lot of money. So if she signs this is my cost. I'm not going to charge them, like a contractor, but I really need some money to purchase this. Okay. So she signed that document. And then after that, like a few months after, like 2 or 3 months after, we got an offer, only one offer, FHA. It wasn't a townhome. And we were on that kind of market that it was not crazy. So I told her, look, I was so happy. And I said, look, we have a great offer. And she said, how do you know that this is a great offer? We have only one. And I said, you're right. It's the only one that we have received. So how many have you received during the last few months? So I told her I review everything with her and she decided to sign it. So, and it was an FHA loan. After a month, they sent me an extension, finance extension. I explained what that means and she decided to sign it. And she said, well, even like you said, it's the only offer that we have. And I really need to sell it in the next month. And I said, okay. Well, she signed it like a week before that finance and the closing will occur. They terminated the agreement because they couldn't get the loan. So she got angry with me because of that. But anyway, after that, we put it back on the market and she called me like two or 3 days after we put it back. And she said, Yvette, I don't have any more money for the next month. And I already spoke with the lender and they couldn't wait for me if I don't pay that month. And I said, I was like, Yvette was thinking and thinking. I said, well, why I don't pay that, you know, and I will sell it and I can get the money back. Anyway, I did it, but I didn't get anything signed by there. So, and then days after they say, Yvette, please come stop by my property. I don't want to do any more business with you. I really want you to come and pick up your sign, pick up your lockbox because I'm going to put it, I don't want you to sell my home. And I said, really? Well, so many, you know, conversation, I have a long conversation with her and I said, I'm not going to put her. That's it for me as well. So I came, I picked up everything and a few days after she put it back on the market with another agent. So it was bad because I really act like, you know, with my heart. And I really wanted to help her. I given the money, I given a check from my business account for her to pay the next month in order for us to sell the property. I did it. And 2 days after, she called me and said, okay, I don't want to deal with you anymore. So after that, they signed a leasing agreement with another agent. They went on the contract like 3 or 4 times. They couldn't close it during that time. And I said, why she's not angry? But anyway, next year, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be very careful with my attitude, sentimental attitude. And I'm going to do like he says, I'm going to put something in my listing agreement saying that I will get the money back because I don't think that's it. So it's a very hard lesson.
So many questions. Oh, Kadiatu has questions. Did she pay your husband back? Did she pay you back?
Oh, thanks that because what I did my job with him because I said, well, my money is my money. I don't think like I lost it. I feel good because I can help her, even though she didn't sell it with me. But I did something, I think I did something good, you know, and that always is there with you. So what I did with my husband is I called the other agent. When I called her, I said, oh, congratulations, you are on the contract. 4 times I called her. And the first time, for the 4th on the contract, I told her what happened. So she told me the only thing that I can tell you is where, not the listing agent. I wasn't called the listing agent. I called the buyer's agent. And the 4th time, And I told her, look, that property has a lien. And I don't think that the attorneys find out because they don't send me the letter or something. Or I'm not going to accept my client to purchase this property if they don't pay that lien. And it was true. So they told me that, okay, we have the closing that day in that office. So I find out, I called the attorney, I sent the paperwork and they charged her at the closing table. So they paid my husband, thanks God.
Good. So
next year, I'm going to find out the best way to help my clients to sell the property. And also, you know, for those services, I pay for my photographer as well, professional photographer and stage. I do my stage by myself. This year, I'm going to put in like some prices for my staging. And and I'm going to put it on the leasing agreement if they decide to terminate the agreement with me.
Yeah.
I think it's fair.
It is fair. It is fair. And I'm glad that it did work out that you got paid or your husband got
My
paid.
husband,
Got
that's
paid.
enough for me.
Yeah.
Because he's a different.
Yes, and it comes back around.
Oh, yes, and I mean, I always look for a family, every year, at least one family to help her with food or something, and I said, okay, she was one of my families that I helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, good. So you leave knowing that you did the right thing.
Yes, yes,
That's
I'm
important.
happy and, I learned.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, because I need to learn from those mistakes.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me this, what are you, I know each one of you because you plan out, what are you gonna do in 2022 that was not on 2021, had nothing to do with any issues, but something new that you're going to incorporate in your business plan? And you weren't ready for these questions, so anybody can speak up.
Okay, go ahead.
You got it?
No.
For me, I was really not ready for the volume I did in 2021, especially when I think of Q2. I closed 30 units, which I'm still kind of like amazed at when I look back, but those 3 months were, I don't know how I made it. And this is somebody that I have a full-time admin. We took contract close off her plate in that time, but it just still was not enough for all that I was juggling. And I couldn't really foresee that all of it was going to hit then. And some of it was new business that just, come in, and I just am stubborn and never say no to business. So for me, I really took a lot of this year to kind of plan better for having more support for me. One of my biggest goals for 2022 is to only show 10% of properties myself. I love working with buyers, but I know that it's going to burn me out, and I kind of have already tasted that, and I don't want to go down further.
So how are you gonna avoid more than 10%?
I have a showing assistant. She's taking her license today, so as long as that goes well, and I'm considering bringing on a buyer's agent as well. So that's kind of.
So that's how you're gonna kind of move into 2022.
Yeah, and
And
that's
you need to,
also,
because your business keeps growing and growing.
and one thing I intended in 2021 was like, I'm gonna take 1 day off a week, 1 weekend off a month, 1 week off a quarter, which is great advice. But come February last year, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I can't take a day off. And so I busted through most of the year. I think kind of towards summer, I was like, okay, Saturdays are off, and was able to do that again. But it's not sustainable to work 7 days a week. It's just like, and there's no medal for it. Nobody, some people like wear it as a badge of honor. I'm like, I'm going on vacation, and I'm like, what life is that? Like, I don't want that life for me, for my family. So really but you have to have leverage in order to do that. You can't just,
So
yes,
when
you can do boundaries with your clients, but you also have to have, in this kind of market, if you're just off on a Saturday but don't have a plan of somebody else who's gonna get your clients into the house, that client's gonna fire you. It's like, I can't wait, and and they can't, so just planning ahead and having both boundaries, but also a plan for when I'm not available.
So when are you taking the kids to Disney World?
February.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, February break.
Yeah, I like it. You've got a plan.
Yes, I have all my vacations planned. I'm not going to family reunion, just Disney. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Disney cruise. So I have all my vacations planned for next year.
Good
Yeah.
for you. Excellent. Who else? Mike, do you have something you're gonna do differently?
It's pretty simple. Jim's mentioned this to me in the past. I still do my own paperwork, contract to close. And that's gotta stop. So I'm gonna start.
You're very expensive.
Whether it's an admin, whether it's an admin or.
Lift is
I
downstairs.
have for a really long time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Until you can afford an admin, use Lyft. They're in our building, and they take great care of our clients.
I actually enjoy doing contracts.
Yeah.
So it's not a burden from that standpoint. It's time management.
Mhm.
Exactly. Stephanie, out there in TV land, what are you gonna do? What are you adding in 2022 to enhance your business?
Really, so for me, it's something more on a personal level. I've only been licensed for almost 2 years now, and I'm starting to recognize, at least for myself, that I can do this. Everybody around me is seeing it, and I'm getting a lot of encouragement and support from, my colleagues, from my team leaders, but seeing it and believing it for myself, and just gaining more of that confidence that, I'm good at what I'm doing, and I'm cut out for this. I know I absolutely love it, but just believing in myself more, that I'm capable of doing what I'm doing and so much more. So.
And you're probably, as far as the group, have had your license for a shorter period of time. Doesn't mean you hadn't gone through experiences. That doesn't, but do you feel like your support has been a real important reason that you have been successful?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. There's never been a time over these last 2 years that I felt like I didn't have somebody to turn to, no matter what day of the week or hour of the day. I've felt fully supported, and I think that 100% has to do with where I am today.
Right, that's great. All right, thank you. Christy, have you thought?
Sure, I did. No, that was my answer. I think that's my biggest thing this year is I leave the Lord to say no. I can't serve on multiple committees at the Atlanta board, sitting on a new committee for the Georgia Association of Realtors. We do things here, and sitting on the board for the Business Association. So I don't know how to say no, and I'm going to work on no this year. Sorry, I have to say no sometimes. And not feel bad about it, because I think I want, like you said, I want to give, I want to do all these things, I have all these great ideas, and then when it comes time to execute, I'm like, oh, what did I get myself into?
Yeah.
So
Just don't remember that when I ask you for Ignite.
no.
Yeah.
I already said yes, so I'm
Or Juan KW cares.
Yeah, we'll help you set those boundaries, and that will
yeah,
help.
other people have to say no too, but and then leverage. I think that's the biggest key is don't be afraid to pay someone that dollar amount for the contract to close. That's been the best thing I ever did. But without having my assistant right now, I need to make sure I've got other things lined up to help out and take advantage of those offers.
Good.
Who can do things.
Yvette?
I really like to have a very more strong relationship with my past clients. I mean it. So the first time I sent the Christmas card to all my clients this year. So what I'm thinking is, okay, that is February 14th, I have to do something. And 3 of my clients just have a baby, one of them 2 days ago and the other one this morning. So, and I have a client who has his child who is only like 11 years old. He's at the hospital. He is on the surgery for the 3rd surgery in the last 2 weeks. So today, my day, I really want to spend with the 3 of them. I'm going to go there at the hospital. I know that I couldn't be on his room,
Right.
but at least to bring something, I have been sending some text to them, but I think that is important. I mean, for me, I think for everybody here, important to have that kind of strength or,
Right.
communication, be with them
It'll
So
make a
that is
difference.
my-
won't it?
Yes.
All right, does anybody have questions either here in the audience or in TV land that you'd like to ask? So we can start off 22 with a bang. You all must have said everything. Well, listen, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Thank you, Stephanie.
Actually, I have one more question.
Oh.
So what is the one thing that you think if I do this year, business-wise, not personal-wise, I'll meet my goals or exceed my goals? If I will do this one thing.
Phone calls.
Yvette?
Phone calls. I'm going to leverage part of my buyers to my husband. I'm going to work more with Estela to get more leads for them. And I'm going to plan my hours per day more carefully and more productive.
massive phone calls. I need to plan it, block it, and protect that time. Because I let everything creep in on it.
Mike?
Just, along the same lines, just manage my time better.
Libby?
Yeah, just stick to my plan. I create it and I have it, just doing it. You know,
Good. And Stephanie? What's something, Jim, you said it's so
Something
eloquent.
that you like to change this year, and if you change it, actually do it, that you'll have a great year.
Honestly, I think just sticking with some things that I've recently implemented as far as, setting some more strict boundaries between my personal life and time and my work time. But definitely, the kind of what everybody else said, the planning ahead, structuring my day. I always make a list the night before for everything that I need to do the next day. I schedule a lot of text messages the night before that I want to hit first thing in the morning, so that if I'm out with a client or if I'm in a meeting, those conversations are starting so that I can, kind of double up what I'm doing that day.
Good. Well, thank you all for your time. You've had a great year in 2022, and I know 2021, I'm already into 2023. 2022 is going to be excellent. Thank you all for everything you do. You're delightful to work with. All right. Do you have anything you wanted to say? Here's your last chance for the year.
So guys, so before asking, so Jim, why is the office having a Zoom meeting between Christmas and New Year's? Why are you having that? No one's gonna come. How many did we have online? 26 online and 10 here. So we've affected 40 people. Okay. Thing I will tell you, if you look down to here, to this row right here, I promise you no one else is having a meeting today. Now, why do y'all think I want to have a meeting between Christmas and New Year's?
We're striking while everybody else is snoozing.
We're trying, everybody's just snoozing, exactly right. Why else?
Keep the energy going.
What'd you say?
Keep the energy going.
Keep the energy going. I love that one. Yeah, why else?
Not losing momentum, which is what.
Not lose momentum. I love that. Exactly right, Ann. Thank you so much. Anybody in TV land, why do you think we keep doing this? Stephanie?
Goal setting.
Who said that?
Ashley Willoughby.
Goal setting. I like that, Ashley. I love that a lot. Why else?
In the right mindset.
Say it again.
You're in the right planning mindset for
Right
January.
mindset. Right mindset. Okay, I love
Ready to
that.
tackle the year.
What'd you say?
We're ready to tackle the year.
Exactly right. So guys, this all was for the past, how many years, Arthurine? We've done a listing contest or something to that effect. Used to be expired listings, which there's not many anymore, but we've done it for how many years? 8 years?
At least.
At least 8 years,
At
guys.
least 7.
And you know, this office starts 2022, excuse me, typically, or we start 21 with the #1 listing office for Keller Williams in Metro Atlanta. Because what do? We focused on it from the very beginning, guys. So guys, when everybody else out there is asleep, they're still thinking about what they're gonna do for New Year's Eve. You guys got in your mind, let's start thinking about business now. So we got the jump on it. So can we thank Michelle putting together this wonderful group? And really did a great job. Anything else, Kimberly and Michelle?
No.
And guys, enjoy your day, Michelle. Thanks for putting this year. It was fabulous. Enjoy your day, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Thank you.